Welcome. Here we're going to talk about parallel lines and finding angle measures when you have this transverse line, this line that's going through your two parallel lines. So here I have these two horizontal parallel lines and this kind of diagonal line that's going across. We will assume that all of the lines are straight. I've done my best to do this by hand. And we'd like to find out what the angle measures are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label all the angles using variables. So I'm going to call this X, Y, W, Z, A, B, C, D. So I've labeled all four of the angles that I'm kind of interested in here. And what I'd like to do now is talk about the relationship between these. So I know that this top horizontal line, this is a straight line. And I know that the line that's going down through it is straight as well. So this large area here, right, this larger angle, that is 180 degrees because it's a straight line, which means that 180 is equal to angle X plus angle A. So I can find either of the two of them as long as I have the other. Now let's look at a different straight line. If I look at this line here, my transverse line, I'm going to draw my angle here, going from there to there. This again is 180 degrees because it's a straight line. And the two angles that make up that 180 degrees are A and Y. So 180 equals A plus Y. Now, with this information, I can know that because X plus A equals 180 and A plus Y also equal 180, X has to equal Y. It has to. Because I'm saying take either of those two things and add it to angle A and you'll get 180 degrees. Well, that means they have to be the same thing. So these two angles, X and Y, are equal to each other. It is also true, and I think it makes sense, if you're looking at this angle here, that is the same. It is repeated down here. So X is also equal to W. And because of the same thing that we just discussed, W equals Z. So when you're given this situation, you actually end up with only two angles, two angle values. These two here, X and Y, equal these two here, W and Z. And then my opposite, like kind of direction, the A and B, those must be equal. And because, again, of like the symmetry of these lines, angle A equals angle C, and angle C equals angle D. So, wow, when you're given this, it looks like a lot of information because you have these these three lines, the two parallel lines and the third line going through them, and then you have four different angles, so it looks like a lot of information. But really, when you start to look at it, you will actually have two angle values. So let's draw a clean copy of this and do an example. I'll draw my two parallel lines here. I will draw my transverse line here. And then I will have my angles, label them here. All right. Now, let's say, for example, I am told that angle X equals 155 degrees. And I'm asked to find all the other angles. Well, as I say, there's really only two values. So X, Y, W, and Z are all the same thing. So Y equals 155 degrees, W equals 155 degrees, and Z equals 155 degrees. I have now accounted for 4 out of my 8 angles. X and A, these two that are near each other at the top, are both together equal to 180 degrees. So in order to solve for A, I subtract 155 from 180, which is 25. So A equals 25 degrees, B equals 25 degrees, C equals 25 degrees, and D equals 25 degrees. So if you can remember these principles, these problems with the two parallel lines and then the transverse line going through them become actually very straightforward to solve. Thank you so much for watching.